Close your eyes, not to sleep, but to awaken. Because what you're about to hear is not a strategy. It's not a to-do list. It's not even a plan. It is a revelation that those who are already rich keep hidden behind smiles, private jets, and calm confidence. They don't act, they imagine. They don't chase, they become. They don't work harder, they think loud. And in this mental rampage, they bend reality to match the script they've written. Not with their hands, but with their minds. You see, the mind is not a mirror. It is a magnet. It doesn't reflect what is happening. It pulls what is commanded. And the rich have learned how to command it without noise, without chaos, and without resistance. They don't wait for conditions to change. They flood their inner world with a feeling of wealth until the outer world surrenders and reflects it. This is not fiction, this is not fantasy, this is the true law at work. And most people miss it because they're looking for physical action when what they really need is a mental combustion, a mental storm, so focused and so consistent, the universe has no choice but to rearrange itself around them. Then, the rich don't take inspired action, they live in inspired assumption. They don't keep asking how, they declare it's done. And then their imagination runs wild, not randomly, but deliberately. They walk into mansions before they exist. They feel the leather seats of luxury before they ever own a car. They breathe as millionaires before they check a bank account. They speak silently to their wealth, their homes, their freedom, until these things answer back. And while others beg the world to give them a break, the rich are mentally rewriting their identity until the world breaks for them. This is the rampage. Not a rant, not a prayer, not a wish. It is an inner storm of unstoppable knowing, a fire that says, I am already the one who has it. And it keeps saying that until the outer world has no choice but to obey. So ask yourself, have you been trying to change your life? Or have you been trying to convince yourself that you already have? Because that's the difference between wishing for wealth and commanding it. The rich don't just think about money, they think from money. They don't dream of abundance. They live in it internally until it becomes external law. It's not effort, it's not grind, it's not 16-hour workdays. It's this secret. They flood the mind until the bank has no choice but to keep up. And now, it's your turn. The rich think from the end, not toward it. There is a subtle but profound difference between thinking of your goal and thinking from it. The rich have mastered the art of thinking from the end. This means they do not sit around dreaming of what they want. They inhabit it mentally, emotionally, and spiritually as if it were already real. They don't visualize themselves chasing a better life. They mentally stand inside that better life and look backward. To think from the end is to claim it as done and see everything else as a consequence of that inner truth. When the poor or struggling think of wealth, they see it as a distant mountain to climb. But the rich close their eyes and see from the peak. They are not climbing in their minds. They are already standing on the summit, arms raised in silent celebration. They look out from the mansion, not at it. They feel the bank balance, not fantasize about checking it. They walk the street as if the whole city belongs to them. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. This mental posture transforms the way the world responds. Why? Because your subconscious doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to what you assume to be true. And when you dwell in the feeling of I am already, the laws of consciousness begin to bend reality to reflect that claim. You are not pushing circumstances. You are aligning yourself with the state where those circumstances are already fulfilled. To think from the end is to become so rooted in your desired identity that you no longer beg for results, you expect them. Not from entitlement, but from internal law. You've already been there so many times in your mind that life eventually rushes to catch up. The rich know this. They don't need proof because their inner world is already filled with evidence. They don't wait to believe, they believe until they no longer have to wait. This is why effort appears effortless to them. They are not trying to convince the world to give them something. They are living in a reality where it's already given. Every step they take is taken as that version of themselves, not as someone trying to become it. And because they no longer contradict that identity, life moves quickly, smoothly, abundantly. Stop thinking toward your dream. Start thinking from it. See with your mind what your eyes have not yet seen. Feel with your spirit what your fingers have not yet touched. Move as if the prayer was already answered, because in consciousness, it always was. They saturate their mind with the feeling of already being wealthy. Wealth is not a number. It's not a bank statement. It's not the price of your car or the size of your house. Wealth is a feeling, and the rich become masters at saturating their inner world with it long before it manifests externally. They don't chase money because they are already rich in feeling, and that feeling becomes the mold from which their life is cast. Feeling is the secret doorway between imagination and manifestation. Thought alone may spark the idea, but it is feeling that makes it alive. The rich flood themselves with the sensation of already having it. Calm, gratitude, certainty. They walk through each day as if the world has already handed them the keys. And the world, seeing their unwavering conviction, eventually does. This feeling is not a weak wish, it's a full immersion. It's as if they've placed themselves in a vivid dream where every moment reinforces the truth that I am wealthy. They smile in silence when no one's watching. They feel the freedom of not needing to worry. They carry themselves with peace, not panic. And they repeat this feeling so often, so consistently, that their subconscious becomes soaked with it. To saturate the mind is to return to this feeling again and again, even when the senses say otherwise, especially when the senses say otherwise. When the bills come, they return to the inner feeling of abundance. When nothing is working, they choose to feel wealth within, not to escape reality, but to reshape it, because they understand the feeling of I already have it is the most magnetic force in the universe. Everything you desire is already spiritually present. The only thing keeping it from you is your insistence on feeling lack. The rich do not let external noise shake their inner wealth. They ignore appearances. They don't wait for validation. They carry the weightless joy of already being the one who has it all, and life simply rearranges itself to reflect that confidence. Think of your mind like a sponge. What are you soaking in daily? Fear, doubt, scarcity, or certainty, peace, and wealth? The rich choose their emotional atmosphere like someone choosing fine clothing. They dress their inner world in gold, long before the gold appears in their hand. Because when the mind is saturated, life is saturated. And when you live in the feeling of already being wealthy, reality has no choice but to become your witness. They create silent conversations with their desired life. The rich speak often, but not with their mouths. They hold quiet, invisible dialogues with the life they are choosing. They talk to money. They whisper to their future. They rehearse conversations with opportunity, with success, with wealth. As if these were living beings responding to their energy. These silent conversations are not wishful thinking, they are deliberate creations that mold reality from the inside out. Every word spoken in the mind is a seed, and the rich plant those seeds with precision. They don't say, I hope I get that deal. They say silently, I already closed it. It's done. They don't say, maybe one day I'll live in that house. They imagine friends complimenting the view from their living room. They feel the weight of their own gratitude as if it were already lived. This is not fantasy. It is inner authorship. The subconscious cannot tell the difference between a real event and an imagined one if the emotion is real. So the rich create inner experiences that feel so real, their subconscious gets to work to make them physical facts. Their minds become a stage, and they direct every scene with clarity and confidence. Think for a moment, what conversations do you have with yourself? Do you say things like, I don't think I'll make it, or money's always hard to come by? Those thoughts may feel private, but they're powerful. They echo through your being and shape your world. The rich know this, and so they choose differently. They mentally walk through the rooms of their dream house. They speak to the walls, thanking them. They hear the admiration of clients and the praise of partners. They replay these conversations until the feeling is permanent. And then, without struggle, life begins to echo those same words back to them in the outer world. This is why some people seem to effortlessly attract deals, opportunities, and wealth. It's not because they're lucky. It's because they have rehearsed those outcomes so often in silence that the outer world is simply responding to a well-rehearsed script. If you want to change your life, start by changing your inner dialogue. Don't wait for the world to speak to you differently. Speak to it differently first. Instead of, I need money, say, thank you for the abundance that flows to me constantly. Instead of, no one sees my worth, say, I'm always in demand and the right people are drawn to me. Every inner conversation is a command. The rich understand this. They don't argue with reality. They rewrite it, one silent sentence at a time. They detach from physical proof and trust inner certainty. The rich are not attached to the current facts. They are attached to their inner knowing. This is perhaps one of the greatest secrets they carry. While the rest of the world is waiting for evidence, for signs, for proof that their dreams are working, the rich move with unwavering certainty. Even in the absence of outer results, they are not disturbed by temporary appearances. They do not panic when things seem to go wrong. Why? Because they understand that physical reality is always late to the party. What you see right now is the result of your past thinking. It is a delayed reflection, not a prophecy. The rich know they've already won before the world even shows it. They have trained themselves to remain calm, centered, and aligned with their desired outcome, regardless of what the senses report. If the account is empty today, they don't see it as lack, they see it as illusion. They close their eyes, return to the state of already being rich, and dwell there until the world catches up. This detachment is not indifference, it's mastery. Detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means you're so sure of the outcome that you no longer need to cling to science. You don't beg the world for confirmation. You don't need someone else to believe in you. You don't require results to validate your identity. You walk as the one who already has it. And because you are no longer vibrating lack, the universe mirrors abundance. Most people sabotage their own manifestations by constantly checking for proof. Why isn't it here yet? Is it working? Every time they question, they cancel their inner claim. But the rich, they never question. They may adjust, evolve, refine, but they never doubt. Their state of being is set like stone. Imagine planting a seed. Would you dig it up every hour to check if it's growing? Of course not. You trust the process. The rich treat their inner work the same way. Once the thought is planted and felt as true, they leave it alone and live in the result mentally until the result lives with them physically. This is how faith operates, not as blind hope, but as calm expectation. And it is this quiet confidence that bends reality in their favor. While others beg for a breakthrough, the rich stand still, knowing that the breakthrough has already occurred inside. And once it is secure in the inner world, the outer world will come to reflect it, sometimes suddenly, sometimes slowly, but always surely. This is not belief in action. It is belief as identity. The rich don't believe they will be rich. They know they are. And they carry that knowing like a crown, invisible to most, but irresistible to the laws of reality. They repeat the same wealth state until reality submits. Repetition is not boring to the rich, it is sacred. It is the very mechanism by which they bring the invisible into form. They understand that one burst of imagination is not enough. One moment of clarity, one flash of excitement, one day of belief does not create a lifetime of wealth. What creates wealth is the daily return to the inner state of already being rich until it becomes their dwelling place, not a visit, but a home. They do not allow their minds to wander into doubt. They do not allow fleeting emotions to take root. Instead, they reaffirm the state again and again, not in desperation, but in devotion, like a musician practicing scales or an athlete rehearsing movements. They return to the feeling of wealth until it becomes second nature, until the state is so familiar that they can enter it with a breath and reality cannot help but follow. Why does this matter? Because your world mirrors your dominant state, not your passing wishes. If you feel abundant for 5 minutes and then spend the rest of the day in worry, it is worry that becomes your command. The rich are relentless in guarding their state. They repeat the same inner movie. They replay the same emotion. They keep walking the same mental corridors of their dream home until those corridors build themselves in brick and stone. They are not easily distracted. While others get pulled into temporary setbacks, complaints, and mental noise, the rich stay centered. Their minds return to the wealth scene like a compass always pointing north. They do not need new affirmations every day. They don't chase variety. They stick to the same reality, the one they have chosen, and saturate their being with it. Imagine telling the same powerful story in your head for 30 days straight. No deviation, no contradiction, just the same scene, you, smiling in peace, free from fear, wealth flowing, needs met, desires fulfilled. That consistency would harden into belief, and belief into fact. This is the secret few ever discover because they give up too soon. They assume if it's not here now, it's not working. But the rich, they know it's already working because it's already true inside. And so they repeat not to beg but to remain alive. They repeat because they know that once the subconscious is fully impressed, reality will cave in to their command. The same scene, the same mood, the same knowing, until the world reflects it back without resistance. That's not stubbornness, that's mastery. They act as rich in spirit long before the money shows up. Acting rich is not about spending lavishly. It is not about faking a lifestyle or projecting arrogance. Acting rich, to those who understand the inner laws, means adopting the spiritual posture of someone who already has all they need. It means walking, speaking, breathing, and thinking from a state of sufficiency and overflow, regardless of what the outer world currently shows. The rich don't act rich to impress others. They do it to align with the frequency of abundance. Their actions are not empty gestures. Every movement is an agreement with the reality they've accepted inwardly. They carry themselves with ease. They pause without panic. They make decisions from vision, not fear. They expect good things because they have already received them in consciousness. When they walk into a room, they don't shrink. They don't apologize for wanting more. They enter with the presence of someone who belongs, not because someone gave them permission, but because they gave it to themselves. That is acting rich in spirit. It's not pride, it's alignment. It's not pretending, it's embodying what has already been accepted within. They order their coffee with calm. They look people in the eyes with peace. They do not rush. They do not grasp. Their energy speaks before they do. And it says, I am already whole. That energy opens doors, it shifts conversations, it pulls opportunities. Because life responds not to need, but to the vibration of completion. You have been taught to wait until the money shows up before you feel free. But freedom is the cause, not the effect. The rich understand that when you carry the energy of freedom, wealth is drawn to you, not to fix you, but to reflect you. So they choose now, they choose to feel it, move in it, and act it out in quiet, consistent ways. They don't fake wealth, they practice it, not through spending, but through posture, through generosity, through gratitude, through the way they treat time, people, and themselves. They respect themselves deeply. They speak kindly to their own minds. They do not see themselves as lacking even when the outer world tempts them to believe otherwise. This is how the shift begins, not with a sudden windfall, but with a decision to become what you desire. And in this state of becoming, every action, no matter how small, echoes wealth. From the way they think about a bill, to the way they bless their food, to the way they sit in silence and smile, all of it is rich. All of it is powerful. Because when you carry the spirit of wealth, you stop waiting, you stop hoping, you simply become, and the world follows. They remove doubt by making wealth their mental home. The rich do not allow doubt to linger. They do not let uncertainty fester. They have trained their minds to treat wealth not as a visitor, not as a stranger, not even as a guest, but as home. Their thoughts, their emotions, their identity revolve around the quiet, settled truth that wealth is their natural state. And because they live from that mental address, the physical world is constantly delivering to that location. You see, doubt is not just hesitation, it's spiritual eviction. Every time you doubt your wealth, you mentally move out of abundance and walk into the house of lack. You change your inner residence, and life delivers according to your new address. The rich never make this mistake. They may be tempted, but they return quickly. They know that the secret is not in force, but in residence. Where does your mind live? When you make wealth your mental home, you no longer second guess. You no longer ask when or how. You no longer search for signs. You know that everything you need is already within you, already unfolding, already on its way. This knowing doesn't scream, it doesn't shake. It sits quietly in deep trust, like someone resting in their favorite chair, knowing that nothing needs to be chased anymore. To make wealth your mental home is to walk through life as if the contract has already been signed, the door already opened, the answer already received. It is to remove the energy of waiting and replace it with the energy of dwelling in gratitude, dwelling in peace, dwelling in confidence. It is not enough to visit this state once in the morning and again at night. The rich keep it alive all day long, not with effort but with awareness. They remind themselves gently, they return to the scene mentally, they rehearse the emotions, they re-enter the inner mansion, until the walls feel solid, the air smells real, and the sense of this is mine becomes second nature. They do not entertain thoughts of failure even when failure shows its face. They do not argue with lack. they walk past it. Their mind has no room for contradiction because their inner world has been furnished with wealth. It is decorated with luxury. It is carpeted in certainty. Doubt may knock, but it finds no open door. And this is what separates the few from the many. The many pray for change, but continue living in a mental hotel, moving from state to state, from hope to fear, from belief to doubt. The few, those who are truly rich, build a home in the state of wealth and never move out. You've now seen it. The veil has lifted. This is the secret rampage, not of noise, not of struggle, not of effort, but of mental dominance. The rich are not living in another world. They are living in the same world, but from another state. They think differently, they feel intentionally. They dwell in what they've chosen, not in what they see. While others cry for evidence, they create it in silence. While others wait to feel good, they choose to feel good first. And while others live from fear, they live from the end. They don't chase, they attract. They don't react, they assume. They don't beg, they know. They wake up every day not to become, but to remember who they already are. You have the same power, the same ability, the same spiritual authority. You are not missing anything except your decision to dwell where your wealth already lives. Choose now. Make your inner world louder than your bank account. Let your mental rampage be filled with certainty, peace, and gratitude. Flood your mind until the bank catches up. Sit in your mansion mentally until the keys show up physically. Hold the energy of already rich so consistently that life has no choice but to match it. Because the law is simple. You do not get what you want. You get what you live in. And if you live in wealth inwardly, you will wake up one day to find the whole world reflecting it right back at you. Ladies and gentlemen, imagine your mind as a garden. Every thought, every feeling, every inner whisper is a seed planted in the soil of your consciousness, destined to bloom into your reality. Just as a gardener carefully selects the seeds they want to grow, so too do we have the power to choose the thoughts and beliefs we allow to take root in our minds. And just as surely as a garden yields a harvest identical to the seeds planted, life too brings us an identical harvest. This law tells us that what we continuously think, believe, and feel becomes the fabric of our experiences. In other words, life is a mirror, faithfully reflecting back to us the image we hold within. The law of identical harvest teaches us that what we focus on and nurture internally, we will eventually see and experience externally. This law isn't just a concept, it's a living reality we experience every day. It's what shapes our successes, our failures, our relationships, and even our sense of self. To live a life full of abundance, joy, and fulfillment, we must consciously decide what seeds to plant. After all, we are the creators of our reality, crafting each experience, interaction, and outcome through the power of our thoughts and emotions. The process starts with understanding that thoughts are not idle, they are active forces. Each thought, when deeply felt and persistently focused upon, moves into our subconscious, where it's brought to life through the events, people, and circumstances we encounter. Emotions serve as the fertilizer for these thoughts, energizing them and making them more powerful. Think of each feeling as fuel, feeding your inner seeds with the energy they need to grow into physical form. To plant seeds of abundance, joy, and success, we must choose to feel those emotions even before we see them in our outer reality. One of the most powerful truths of this law is the importance of persistence. The thoughts and beliefs we consistently nurture will inevitably bear fruit. This law teaches us to hold steadfast in our chosen vision, even when external conditions seem unchanged. The persistence of holding the desired outcome within ourselves without wavering is the secret to bringing it to life. The harvest will come, but only if we are unwavering and patient, like a gardener who knows their seeds will blossom in due time. Another key aspect of this law is our inner dialogue. Our mind is constantly engaged in silent conversations, thoughts about ourselves, our world, and our possibilities. These inner dialogues are like seeds being planted moment by moment. When we consciously choose empowering, positive, and uplifting inner conversations, we're planting seeds that grow into supportive, joyful, and abundant experiences. In contrast, negative and limiting inner dialogues create weeds that can stifle the growth of the outcomes we truly desire. So, mastering our inner dialogue is crucial to ensuring our harvest is one of fulfillment. Finally, this law teaches us the value of personal responsibility. If we want to see different results in our lives, we must take ownership of the seeds we've been planting. Every moment offers us a new choice. We can plant seeds of abundance, love, and peace, or we can allow seeds of doubt, fear, and lack to take root. It is up to us to cultivate our inner world with care, to remove any limiting beliefs or destructive thoughts, and to plant only what we truly wish to experience. Thoughts as seeds is a profound analogy that reminds us of the incredible influence our inner world holds over the life we experience. Each thought is like a seed planted in the soil of our consciousness, silently waiting for its moment to bloom. When we repeatedly focus on a thought, whether positive or negative, and feel it deeply, it doesn't remain a passing idea. It sinks into the fertile ground of our subconscious, where it quietly begins to take shape, shaping our perspectives, actions, and ultimately our reality. This seed of thought, once planted, initiates a powerful process, drawing in the resources it needs, our emotions, beliefs, and attention to grow into an eventual outcome that aligns with its essence. Our emotions serve as the water and sunlight that fuel these thought seeds. The more emotion we pour into a thought, the faster it grows and strengthens. If we nurture a thought with positive feelings like excitement, gratitude, or hope, it is infused with energy that propels it toward manifestation. Likewise, negative emotions like fear, anger, or doubt can also feed our thoughts, albeit in a direction we might not desire. The soil of our consciousness does not discriminate between the nature of the seeds we plant. It simply brings to life whatever we nourish consistently. Just as nature ensures that an apple seed produces an apple tree, so does the mind ensure that each thought produces a corresponding experience, mirroring the original thought we entertained. The deeper this thought seed embeds itself, the more it influences the mental patterns that shape our lives. With each repeated focus on the same thought, we reinforce the initial seed, allowing it to grow roots within our subconscious mind. These roots begin shaping the habits, beliefs, and expectations that guide our actions. Over time, the thought seed matures, subtly influencing the choices we make and the way we respond to situations. It starts to shape the lens through which we view the world and ourselves, creating a mental framework that eventually becomes self-fulfilling. This is how our inner reality ultimately prepares the way for our external reality to mirror back what has been cultivated within. Just as a gardener knows that an entire plant begins with a single seed, we must recognize that every experience, relationship, and opportunity in our lives has its origin in a thought we planted. Whether intentional or not, the thoughts we hold on to the longest will determine the nature of our experiences. Thoughts of abundance, confidence, and possibility create lives marked by growth and opportunity. Conversely, seeds of worry, scarcity, and doubt grow into lives that reflect those very limitations. Through the careful selection and nurturing of thoughts, we can consciously shape a life that reflects our highest aspirations. The role of emotions in shaping our reality is often underestimated, yet they are one of the most powerful forces fueling the thoughts we hold. Emotions act as a kind of fertilizer, providing energy that strengthens our thoughts and brings them closer to manifestation. Just as a gardener's choice of fertilizer can impact the growth of plants, the emotions we attach to our thoughts can significantly influence their development. When a thought is paired with strong emotions, it gains a vitality that simple ideas lack, pushing it further into the fertile ground of the subconscious mind, where it grows with purpose and intensity. Positive emotions, such as joy, excitement, love, and gratitude, enrich our thoughts in a way that accelerates their movement toward reality. These emotions align with the high vibrations of growth, creativity, and abundance, magnifying the effects of the thoughts they're tied to. When we think of a goal or desire and attach feelings of happiness or gratitude to it, we're effectively increasing its power. The thought no longer sits passively in the mind, it becomes an active force, vibrating with the energy of positive emotion, and naturally attracts opportunities, ideas, and people that support its fulfillment. This powerful connection between thought and feeling generates a state of inner alignment that moves us closer to what we want to experience. Conversely, negative emotions like fear, anger, resentment, and doubt can also attach themselves to our thoughts, but they yield a very different outcome. When we consistently feel anxious or worried about something, these emotions attach themselves to the thought and reinforce it in ways that often lead to unwanted results. Negative emotions act as a kind of toxic fertilizer, still promoting growth, but doing so in a way that brings about experiences aligned with that lower emotional state. For example, dwelling on thoughts of scarcity while feeling fearful or insecure can lead to a reality filled with financial or personal struggles, as the mind, influenced by these negative emotions, attracts situations that reflect them. Our emotions not only amplify the strength of our thoughts, but also determine the direction in which they grow. Just as a plant leans toward sunlight, our thoughts are drawn toward the emotional light we shine upon them. The more we invest positive feelings into our thoughts, the more they lean toward growth, creativity, and fulfillment. Emotions act as the invisible hands that shape the path of our mental seeds, guiding them toward their eventual harvest in our lives. Through careful attention to the feelings we associate with our thoughts, we hold the power to shape the nature and quality of what we experience. The power of persistence lies in the unwavering commitment to a vision, even when the physical evidence of progress is not immediately visible. Persistence is like the steady, consistent watering of a seed buried beneath the soil. Though the seed's growth may be hidden from view, the act of nurturing it with faith ensures that it continues to develop, drawing strength from the consistent attention it receives. Holding on to a vision requires both patience and trust, knowing that every small action, every focused thought, and every belief in its possibility brings it one step closer to reality, even if the changes are invisible at first. This commitment is vital because the journey from thought to manifestation often involves periods of seeming stillness where nothing outward appears to be happening. These moments can be challenging, as doubt and discouragement may creep in. However, persistence transforms these challenges into tests of resilience and dedication. Each moment of patience reinforces the vision within, making it stronger and more resilient. Persistence turns this inner vision into an unbreakable part of our mindset, embedding it so deeply within us that it naturally begins to influence our actions, decisions, and daily focus, aligning us fully with our goal. As we persist in nurturing our vision, our mind begins to reshape itself around this goal. The persistent focus shifts our mental habits, creating new beliefs, expectations, and attitudes that support our desired outcome. The mind becomes conditioned to view challenges as part of the journey rather than as obstacles. This transformation is subtle but profound, as our daily routines, choices, and even interactions become aligned with our vision. Persistence builds momentum, like the slow but steady growth of a tree that eventually reaches the sunlight, standing tall and strong through the power of sustained effort. Persistence also creates a magnetic force that draws in the resources, people, and opportunities needed to bring the vision to life. This consistent focus on our goal signals to the world that we are ready to receive it. Opportunities begin to appear, often in unexpected ways, as if responding to the strength of our commitment. Even when the path seems unclear, the act of holding on to the vision with determination and faith becomes the guiding force that gradually shapes our reality. Through persistence, our vision transforms from an abstract idea into a living, breathing part of our world, manifesting not through sudden leaps, but through a series of small, steady, and faithful steps. Our inner dialogue, those silent conversations we have with ourselves, is one of the most powerful forces shaping the life we live. This constant stream of thoughts, reflections, and reactions colors our perception of reality, influencing how we respond to challenges, opportunities, and even our relationships. Inner dialogue isn't just a passive flow of thoughts, it's an active process that sets the stage for our experiences. Just as spoken words carry weight, the words we silently repeat to ourselves become the script by which we live. Each time we engage in a conversation within ourselves, we're reinforcing ideas that mold our beliefs, behaviors, and ultimately our external reality. When we choose to cultivate uplifting and empowering inner dialogues, we're consciously planting seeds of positivity, resilience, and self-assurance. These encouraging conversations help us see possibilities where we might have seen limitations and inspire us to pursue our goals with confidence and clarity. Imagine the difference between telling yourself, I am capable, I can handle this, versus this is too difficult, I'm not sure I can succeed. The former plants seeds of strength and optimism, which, over time, bloom into real-life expressions of courage and capability. This shift in self-talk begins to transform our approach to life, creating a mental framework that attracts positive experiences and allows us to move through challenges with greater ease. On the other hand, negative inner dialogue can act like a subtle yet powerful barrier, creating a self-fulfilling prophecy that restricts growth. Repeating phrases like I'm not good enough or things never work out for me reinforces beliefs that hinder progress and close off possibilities. This inner narrative, when left unchecked, slowly becomes the filter through which we view ourselves and the world. The mind, conditioned by these repeated phrases, starts to believe in these limitations, and life begins to reflect them back, seemingly confirming the original negative thought. Just as a garden will produce weeds if left unattended, our inner world can become tangled with beliefs that hold us back if we don't tend to it carefully. The power of inner dialogue lies in its ability to reprogram our subconscious mind. By choosing thoughts and phrases that support our goals and values, we're feeding our mind with positive affirmations that reshape how we perceive and approach life. Repetition is key here. The more we affirm ideas of strength, success, and joy within, the more deeply these beliefs become ingrained. Over time, our inner dialogue becomes a natural source of motivation, driving us to act in alignment with our desired outcomes. These empowering inner conversations set the foundation for a life of purpose and fulfillment, where each thought uplifts, each belief strengthens, and each moment of self-talk guides us toward the life we envision. Personal responsibility is the recognition that we are the architects of our own lives, responsible for the thoughts we think, the beliefs we hold, and the actions we take. Every thought we choose to entertain, every belief we decide to reinforce, and every perspective we allow to shape us are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of our minds. Over time, these seeds grow, quietly yet powerfully, into the reality we experience. Just as a farmer takes full responsibility for the crop they plant, knowing the harvest will directly reflect the choices they made, we too must take ownership of our mental landscape, understanding that the harvest we reap will mirror the quality and nature of the seeds we have sown. This responsibility extends beyond our conscious choices to include the subtle, often overlooked habits of thought that we engage in daily. Each time we dwell on an idea, whether positive or negative, we reinforce it within our subconscious. These repeated thoughts become part of our mental framework, influencing our actions, reactions, and attitudes. When we take responsibility for this process, we understand that we have the power to change any aspect of our reality by adjusting the thoughts we plant and nurture. Accepting responsibility means recognizing that we are not passive observers of life but active participants, shaping our experiences by the mental seeds we consistently plant. With this accountability comes the awareness that no matter our past experiences, we can change our present and future by choosing new thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes. Personal responsibility is empowering because it places control in our hands, reminding us that our potential is not limited by what has been but by what we choose to cultivate moving forward. When we accept this level of responsibility, We free ourselves from the notion that life happens to us. Instead, we embrace the understanding that life responds through us, reflecting back the seeds we've sown in our minds. In this way, taking responsibility is not a burden but an opportunity to consciously create a life that aligns with our truest desires. This concept also implies that the obstacles we face are often the result of past seeds, thoughts, or beliefs we once allowed to take root. By taking responsibility for both the positive and challenging experiences in our lives, we empower ourselves to change any circumstance by shifting the mental seeds we plant today. This mindset instills resilience and patience, as we come to realize that we are in constant control of the seeds we plant, nurturing those that serve us and discarding those that don't. Personal responsibility allows us to see that our life is, at its core, a reflection of the garden we have cultivated in our minds, an ongoing project that we have the power to shape and transform. Visualization as a planting practice is an incredibly potent tool, allowing us to vividly imagine and feel our desired outcomes in such a way that they seem as real as our present circumstances. This process goes beyond mere daydreaming. It's an intentional, immersive rehearsal of the reality we want to create. By visualizing a goal or desire with clarity and emotional depth, we plant a mental seed in the subconscious mind, embedding the image so deeply that it begins to shape our perceptions, attitudes, and responses to the world. This seed, once planted, acts as a blueprint that our minds and actions naturally work to bring into form, creating an inner alignment that bridges the gap between desire and reality. When we visualize regularly, we effectively reinforce these goals, strengthening the clarity and certainty of our intentions. The more we practice this mental rehearsal, the more the subconscious mind accepts our desired outcome as true, aligning itself with that vision and creating a mental environment in which the goal feels not only achievable but inevitable. This process of visualization trains the mind to perceive opportunities and solutions that support the realization of our vision. With each session of visualization, we build a more detailed and emotionally charged image of our goal, making it increasingly tangible and concrete in our mental landscape. A crucial element of visualization is feeling the emotions associated with achieving the desired outcome. Emotions such as joy, gratitude, and pride act as a type of fuel, energizing the mental image and adding layers of depth and reality to it. When we visualize with feeling, we communicate to the subconscious mind that this is not a distant fantasy but a real, possible experience. The subconscious, ever receptive and impressionable, begins working to align our behaviors, choices, and attitudes with this emotionally charged image, subtly guiding us toward the conditions and actions that will bring it to life. Visualization becomes more than a mental exercise. It is a full-body experience that engages both the mind and heart, creating a powerful resonance between our inner vision and outer reality. Through this consistent practice, visualization serves as a compass, keeping us focused and grounded in our desired outcome, even in the face of external distractions or challenges. By routinely revisiting this mental picture, we build a strong foundation for our goals and anchor them firmly within our consciousness. Visualization, in this sense, is not only about imagining, but about living in the energy of our desired reality, embodying the belief that it is already within reach. As we make this practice a regular part of our lives, the mental seeds we plant through visualization grow stronger, influencing our daily decisions and aligning our outer world with the vision we hold within. The concept of assuming the end result is a foundational element in the law of identical harvest, teaching us that by embracing the feeling of our desired outcome as if it's already real, we set powerful forces in motion. When we mentally place ourselves in the state of having rather than wanting, we create a profound shift in consciousness. Instead of focusing on the gap between where we are and where we want to be, we begin to inhabit the mental and emotional space of our goal being a present reality. This assumption of the end result isn't simply about wishful thinking, it's an active alignment with our desires, conditioning the subconscious mind to accept the envisioned reality as already existing. Living in the end state requires a conscious commitment to embracing thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that align with the goal's fulfillment. This mental environment, where the goal feels inevitable, radiates a sense of certainty and confidence that permeates all aspects of our being. When we assume the end result, our thoughts naturally shift from "how can I make this happen" to "I am grateful it has happened." This subtle yet powerful shift changes the way we see ourselves and the world around us, making us more receptive to the opportunities, people, and resources that align with our envisioned reality. Our focus on fulfillment attracts more of the same, creating a cycle of reinforcement where our inner state continues to manifest outwardly. The act of assuming the end result also helps dissolve limiting beliefs and doubts that may otherwise hinder progress. When we truly believe that our goal is already achieved, we bypass the critical mind, which often raises objections, and instead embrace an unwavering faith in our vision. This faith silences the internal dialogue of "what if," and maybe replacing it with a steady confidence that drives our actions and decisions. By living from this state of fulfillment, we begin to cultivate habits, behaviors, and mindsets that reflect our desired reality. The assumption of the end acts as a psychological anchor, keeping us steady and focused, regardless of external circumstances or temporary setbacks. Assuming the end result creates a magnetic effect on our surroundings, attracting experiences that are in harmony with our inner state. When we live as though our desires are already realized, our energy and demeanor reflect this fulfillment, influencing how others perceive and interact with us. We project a sense of completion and contentment that others respond to, often in ways that help us move closer to our goal. This resonance between our inner conviction and outer reality subtly influences the world around us, creating a path where our imagined end state begins to materialize in tangible form. By consistently returning to this assumption, we become aligned with our goal in thought, emotion, and action, transforming it from a distant possibility into a lived reality. Letting go of doubt is a crucial part of manifesting our desires, as doubt operates like a powerful weed in the garden of our mind, obstructing the growth of the positive seeds we've planted. Just as a weed competes with and suffocates healthy plants, doubt can strangle our dreams and aspirations, limiting their potential to bloom fully. When we entertain doubts, even briefly, we allow a contradictory force to enter our consciousness, which disrupts the steady flow of belief and focus needed for our desires to manifest. This doubt creates resistance, sending mixed signals to the subconscious mind, which relies on clarity and conviction to bring our intentions into reality. Releasing doubt requires us to develop a deep sense of faith in the process, trusting that the thoughts and feelings we hold will eventually bear fruit. This faith acts as a shield, preventing doubt from taking root and crowding out our positive intentions. Letting go of doubt does not mean ignoring reality. Rather, it involves choosing to believe in the unseen progress and growth happening beneath the surface. Like a seed growing in the dark, our intentions are often developing in ways we cannot yet observe. Faith in this unseen process enables us to maintain a steady vision, even when immediate results are not visible, creating a stable foundation from which our desires can flourish. Cultivating trust also involves embracing the natural timing of life. Often doubt arises from impatience or a desire for immediate results. When we let go of the need for instant proof, we allow ourselves to flow with the rhythm of creation, understanding that each step is unfolding at the perfect time. This patience empowers us to continue nurturing our desires without second-guessing their viability. By accepting that progress may be gradual and that manifestation may take time, we build a sense of peace that silences the inner voices of doubt and fear. This calm assurance not only sustains our vision but also strengthens it, creating a fertile mental environment where our goals are free to grow. Letting go of doubt also involves a conscious effort to replace it with positive, reinforcing thoughts. Each time doubt arises, we can choose to reaffirm our trust in the outcome, redirecting our focus back to what we want, rather than what we fear might not happen. This practice of mental discipline is akin to regularly weeding a garden, ensuring that only nourishing thoughts remain to feed our vision. Over time, this shift in focus retrains the mind, making it more resilient and less susceptible to doubt. By consistently letting go of doubt and embracing faith in our process, we create an open, receptive state of mind that allows our intentions to take root, grow, and ultimately manifest into the reality we seek. Detachment from the how is an essential aspect of manifesting our desires, teaching us to release the need to control every step of the journey and trust in the unfolding process. When we obsess over exactly how something should happen, we limit the infinite possibilities through which our goal could materialize. By trying to predict or force the outcome, we close ourselves off from paths, opportunities, and solutions that we may not have considered or even imagined. Detachment from the how is about freeing our minds from rigid expectations, allowing the natural flow of the universe to guide us toward the realization of our vision in its own, often surprising ways. In this practice, our focus shifts from obsessing over the details of the process to fully embodying the end state we wish to achieve. Instead of spending mental energy on worrying about the steps, we invest that energy into envisioning the outcome, building the feeling of our goal already being fulfilled. By staying anchored in this vision, we create a stable foundation for our desires to flourish without the stress and strain of trying to micromanage every aspect. The mind becomes calm, allowing us to be more present and responsive to the opportunities that arise naturally. We learn to welcome unexpected pathways and resources, recognizing that they may be precisely what we need, even if they don't fit the blueprint we initially imagined. This detachment also cultivates a sense of trust and surrender, an acknowledgement that the how is handled by forces beyond our conscious control. The universe, or the subconscious mind, operates in ways that often defy logic, orchestrating events, connections, and coincidences that seem random but are aligned with our intentions. When we trust that the process is working for us, even if we can't see it immediately, we remove the tension of expectation, allowing the creative power of our thoughts and feelings to flow unimpeded. In this surrendered state, we become more attuned to subtle cues and intuitive nudges, which guide us forward with less effort and more ease. This sense of trust not only relieves stress, but also reinforces our belief that our desires are indeed attainable. Letting go of the how is not passive, it requires active engagement with our vision while allowing flexibility in the path it takes. It is like planting a seed and nurturing it with water, sunlight, and patience without digging up the soil to check on its growth. By concentrating on nurturing the seed, by cultivating the feelings, beliefs, and attitudes that align with our goal, we allow the process to unfold as it should. This approach frees us from anxiety and keeps our focus clear and unwavering, giving the universe the space to work in its own way. Detachment from the how empowers us to keep moving forward with confidence, fully engaged with our vision while trusting in the timing and manner of its manifestation. The detachment from the how allows us to enjoy the journey toward our goals, welcoming each step as part of the experience rather than a hurdle. This openness not only lightens our mental load, but also brings a sense of wonder and curiosity to the process, as we witness how the universe or our subconscious mind weaves together the details to bring our vision to life. By stepping back and letting go of the need to dictate every step, we become co-creators with the universe, focused on nurturing our goal while allowing the natural intelligence of life to reveal the most perfect way forward. Awareness of patterns is a powerful tool in understanding how our thoughts, beliefs, and behaviors consistently shape the outcomes we experience. These patterns, often unnoticed, act as a blueprint for the types of experiences we attract. They reflect the underlying beliefs and habitual thoughts that govern our responses to life situations. When we become aware of these patterns, we can see how the same themes, whether positive or negative, keep resurfacing in various areas, such as relationships, finances, health, or career. Each recurring situation acts as a mirror, showing us the inner seeds we have been planting, intentionally or not, allowing us to recognize how our past thoughts and beliefs have shaped our current reality. Recognizing these patterns requires a keen sense of self-awareness and honesty. It involves observing ourselves objectively, without judgment, and noticing how similar situations or emotional responses arise repeatedly. For instance, if we find ourselves consistently experiencing scarcity, we may uncover a pattern of thoughts centered around lack or fear of insufficiency. Likewise, if we often attract supportive relationships or career opportunities, we may notice a pattern of inner beliefs around worthiness or confidence. By identifying these patterns, we gain insight into the subconscious programming that drives our choices and perceptions, which in turn influence the outcomes we see in our lives. Once we've identified recurring patterns, we become empowered to disrupt any negative cycles that do not serve our growth or happiness. This awareness provides the opportunity to consciously replace old, limiting beliefs with thoughts and beliefs that align with the outcomes we desire. When we see that our past beliefs have created patterns of fear, self-doubt, or frustration, we can actively choose to adopt new beliefs rooted in abundance, confidence, or resilience. By consciously planting these new mental seeds, we shift the pattern and set the stage for a different reality to unfold, one that mirrors the new beliefs we've chosen. This process is transformative, as each new belief builds upon itself, creating a positive feedback loop that brings new, empowering experiences into our lives. Awareness of patterns also serves as a valuable tool for refining our goals and intentions. As we pay attention to the themes that emerge in our lives, we can assess which patterns we wish to maintain and which ones we want to change. Positive patterns, such as those related to success or joy, can be nurtured further by reinforcing the thoughts and actions that created them. Negative patterns, on the other hand, can be gently uprooted, allowing us to plant fresh seeds aligned with our ideal vision for the future. This awareness is like a mental map, revealing where we've been and illuminating the path to where we want to go, giving us the freedom to choose our thoughts with intention and clarity, knowing that each chosen thought sets a new pattern into motion. Our surrounding environment and the influences we allow into our lives play a crucial role in shaping our thoughts, emotions, and ultimately our outcomes. Just as plants thrive when provided with optimal sunlight, water, and soil, our mental and emotional well-being flourishes when we are in environments that support and uplift us. The people, spaces, and even the media we consume all contribute to the mental garden we cultivate within. Every interaction and every influence acts as either nourishment or strain, subtly guiding our beliefs, shaping our self-perception, and reinforcing the thoughts we habitually entertain. Being mindful of these influences allows us to consciously design a supportive environment that nurtures the seeds of our goals and dreams. One of the most impactful aspects of our environment is our social circle, the people we spend the most time with. Friends, family members, colleagues, and mentors each bring their own energies, attitudes, and beliefs, which can either inspire us or pull us back. When we are surrounded by people who uplift us, encourage our dreams, and model positive behaviors, we are more likely to feel confident, motivated, and empowered. On the other hand, when we are exposed to negativity, criticism, or doubt, it becomes easier to absorb these influences, allowing them to weaken our resolve and overshadow our ambitions. Choosing relationships that reinforce positivity, optimism, and growth becomes essential, as the energy we absorb from others shapes our own thoughts and emotions, influencing our outlook on life. The physical environment we inhabit also plays a role in shaping our mental state. Clean, organized spaces filled with items that inspire creativity and peace can encourage a calm and focused mind, allowing us to more easily concentrate on our goals. Conversely, cluttered or chaotic spaces can create a sense of mental disarray, making it harder to find clarity and focus. By creating an environment that reflects the energy and mindset we wish to cultivate, we reinforce our intentions on a daily basis. This could involve setting up a dedicated space for reflection, surrounding ourselves with reminders of our aspirations, or simply arranging our surroundings in a way that brings a sense of peace. The atmosphere we create within our physical spaces acts as a silent support system, continuously feeding our subconscious with cues that affirm our chosen path. The information we consume through books, media, and even casual conversations also profoundly influences our internal landscape. Just as healthy soil is essential for a plant's growth, consuming positive, inspiring, and educational content provides fertile ground for our minds. Listening to stories of resilience, learning from mentors, or reading books that align with our goals reinforces the values and beliefs that support our vision. In contrast, exposure to negativity, sensationalism, or toxic conversations can pollute our thoughts, diverting our focus from growth to fear or doubt. Being selective about the information we engage with allows us to weed out unproductive influences and enrich our minds with empowering ideas that serve our higher purpose. In this way, our environment, both social and physical, acts as a foundation for our mental and emotional growth. By carefully curating the people, spaces, and information we surround ourselves with, we create a supportive ecosystem for our dreams. Every positive influence strengthens our inner world, nurturing the mental seeds we've planted and creating an ideal setting for them to grow into our desired reality. Through this intentional approach to our environment, we give ourselves the best chance to thrive, mirroring the healthy conditions that a plant requires to reach its fullest potential. Patience and divine timing are fundamental principles when it comes to the manifestation of our desires, as they remind us that just as a plant grows according to its own natural rhythm, so too do our goals and dreams unfold according to the timing of life. Manifestation is not an instant process. It involves a journey of inner growth, alignment, and preparation that cannot be rushed. Each desire we plant in the mind is like a seed that, once nurtured, begins to germinate and develop. While we may not see immediate results, this period of waiting is essential, allowing our intentions to take root deeply and establishing a foundation for lasting growth. Patience, then, is not merely a passive state, but an active and trusting acceptance of the process. This concept of divine timing teaches us that there is an ideal moment for every event to occur, one that aligns perfectly with the broader tapestry of our lives. While we may have a sense of urgency about our desires, life often orchestrates events in a way that brings our goals to fruition at the most opportune time, considering factors we may not be aware of. In this sense, divine timing is a guiding force, helping us receive what we want only when we are truly prepared to handle and appreciate it. Embracing patience allows us to stay open to this natural timing, preventing frustration and maintaining faith that, even if we cannot yet see it, the process is working in our favor. Patience also cultivates resilience and inner growth. The period between setting an intention and its manifestation often brings challenges and lessons designed to prepare us for the realization of our goals. These experiences act as stepping stones, building the strength, wisdom, and insight needed to truly benefit from our desired outcomes. For instance, someone pursuing financial abundance may encounter lessons in budgeting, discipline, or generosity along the way. These lessons are not delays but essential elements of the journey, equipping us with the tools to sustain and enjoy the harvest when it finally arrives. By honoring the time needed for growth, we become more aligned with our goals and more prepared to embrace them fully. Trusting in divine timing also encourages us to release attachment to specific deadlines or expectations. When we fixate on a certain time frame, we may inadvertently introduce anxiety, doubt, or impatience, which disrupts the natural flow of manifestation. Surrendering to divine timing allows us to relax and enjoy the journey, knowing that life is unfolding perfectly. This trust deepens our faith, transforming our mindset from one of demand to one of gratitude and anticipation. Instead of pressuring ourselves to make things happen, we adopt a receptive stance, open to the unfolding process and confident that, when the moment is right, our desires will manifest effortlessly. In this way, patience and divine timing become essential components of the law of manifestation, teaching us that growth, transformation, and fulfillment require both dedication and trust in life's timing. Just as a gardener waits for the right season for flowers to bloom, we too must nurture our intentions while allowing them the time they need to blossom. By embodying patience, we allow our desires to ripen naturally, ensuring that when they manifest, they do so in ways that truly serve our highest good. Self-love and self-worth are foundational aspects of manifesting our desires, as they serve as the inner soil in which our dreams and intentions take root. When we believe in our own value and treat ourselves with kindness and respect, we create a fertile mental environment where our goals and aspirations can flourish. Self-love is more than just a positive feeling. It is a practice of nurturing, honoring, and prioritizing our well-being. When we hold a deep sense of self-worth, we communicate to ourselves and the universe that we are deserving of good things, creating a natural alignment between our inner beliefs and the outcomes we wish to attract. Just as a garden needs regular care and attention to thrive, our dreams require the steady nourishment of self-respect and self-compassion to bring them to life. Believing in our worthiness is essential, because it directly influences our willingness to accept and embrace what we desire. Often the biggest barrier to manifestation is not external circumstances, but internal doubt about whether we truly deserve to receive what we seek. When we cultivate self-worth, we remove this barrier, allowing ourselves to feel comfortable and at ease with success, love, abundance, or any other goal. Without this sense of deserving, we may unconsciously sabotage our efforts or shy away from opportunities that align with our desires. Self-worth acts as a bridge between intention and manifestation, enabling us to fully receive and integrate the experiences we want without hesitation or fear. Self-love empowers us to make choices that support our growth and well-being. When we truly value ourselves, we naturally seek environments, relationships, and activities that enhance our lives rather than detract from them. This alignment with positive influences reinforces our intentions, surrounding us with energies that uplift and sustain us on our journey. Self-love helps us set healthy boundaries, ensuring that we do not compromise our values or settle for less than what we genuinely desire. By embracing self-care and self-respect, we create an inner atmosphere that is attuned to abundance, attracting experiences that resonate with this higher level of self-regard. Self-worth also increases our confidence and strengthens our resilience in the face of challenges. Knowing that we are worthy of our desires helps us remain steadfast even when obstacles arise. This inner assurance gives us the courage to persevere, maintaining our focus and faith regardless of temporary setbacks. When we believe in our inherent value, we become less dependent on external validation or approval, drawing strength from within. This self-assurance acts as a grounding force, keeping us anchored in our goals and reminding us that we are fully capable of achieving them. With self-love and self-worth as our foundation, we approach each step of our journey with a sense of certainty and ease, open to receiving the fruits of our intentions. Self-love and self-worth are the nurturing forces that enable us to manifest our desires with clarity and confidence. By treating ourselves with kindness, respect, and care, we affirm our readiness to receive life's blessings. These practices create a mental and emotional landscape where our intentions are free to grow, unburdened by doubt or fear. Just as a healthy garden yields a bountiful harvest, a heart filled with self-love and a mind rooted in self-worth open us up to receiving and embracing the reality we envision, fully confident in our deservingness of the life we seek. Gratitude serves as a powerful fertilizer for our mental and emotional well-being, enriching the inner soil where our dreams and goals take root. When we actively practice gratitude, we infuse our thoughts and intentions with a sense of appreciation and positivity, creating a fertile foundation that encourages growth. Expressing gratitude is not merely a response to what we already have, it is a proactive mindset that embraces the abundance of life, seen and unseen. By feeling thankful for our desires as though they are already present, we elevate our energy, aligning ourselves with a higher vibrational state that naturally attracts more positive experiences, people, and opportunities into our lives. This practice of gratitude does more than cultivate a positive outlook, it shifts our entire mindset into one of abundance and fulfillment. When we acknowledge our desires with gratitude as if they are already realized, we begin to embody the feeling of having achieved them. This emotional state sends a powerful message to the subconscious mind, which cannot distinguish between actual experiences and those vividly imagined. By consistently engaging in this mindset, we condition our subconscious to accept our desires as truths, reinforcing the belief that these goals are attainable and already woven into our reality. This shift from wanting to having fosters a sense of completion and fulfillment that, like a magnet, draws our desires closer to us. Gratitude also creates resilience, helping us to maintain faith and positivity even when external circumstances seem challenging. When we practice gratitude, we learn to focus on what is going well rather than dwelling on setbacks or delays. This shift in focus strengthens our mental resilience, allowing us to navigate the path to our goals with patience and confidence. Rather than viewing obstacles as barriers, we see them as part of the journey, understanding that each step brings us closer to the fulfillment of our desires. Gratitude, in this way, acts as a stabilizing force, keeping us grounded in appreciation and empowering us to move forward with a positive outlook. Gratitude has a multiplying effect, amplifying the good that is already present in our lives. By focusing on what we are grateful for, we naturally attract more experiences that resonate with that same energy. Just as healthy plants produce abundant fruit when properly nourished, a mind rooted in gratitude yields a bounty of positive experiences, reinforcing our sense of abundance and joy. This cycle of gratitude and abundance creates a self-sustaining loop, where each expression of thankfulness opens the door to new blessings, reinforcing the belief that life is filled with gifts waiting to be received. Gratitude serves as an essential nutrient for the garden of our minds, enhancing the growth of our dreams and desires. It aligns us with a state of abundance, dissolves doubt, and strengthens our sense of fulfillment, making us receptive to the positive experiences that align with our goals. When we engage in the daily practice of gratitude, we enrich our inner world with appreciation, paving the way for our desires to flourish and come to life naturally. Acting in alignment is a critical component of manifesting our desires and bringing them from thought into reality. While our beliefs, thoughts, and emotions set the foundation, our actions are the bridge that connects our internal intentions to the external world. When we take intentional steps that reflect our goals, we not only demonstrate our commitment, but also give tangible form to the seeds we've planted in our minds. Aligned action adds energy to our vision, reinforcing our intentions and giving them momentum. Each small, consistent action strengthens the mental seeds we've sown, moving us steadily closer to the life we wish to create. Aligned action requires us to act as if our desired outcome is already within reach, making choices that reflect the confidence and conviction that we are on the right path. For instance, if one's goal is to achieve physical health, acting in alignment might mean choosing nutritious foods, exercising regularly, and prioritizing rest, embodying the lifestyle of someone who values wellness. These actions support the mental vision, creating a feedback loop that signals to our subconscious mind that our goal is not just a distant possibility but an active reality unfolding through our choices. By consistently aligning our actions with our desired outcome, we reinforce the belief that our goal is attainable, building trust in the process. Taking aligned action also opens up opportunities and resources that might not have been accessible otherwise. When we commit ourselves to intentional steps, we often find that life responds in kind, presenting people, circumstances, or events that further support our vision. This is not merely coincidence, it's the effect of moving in sync with our goals. As we build momentum, doors open that lead us to new pathways and connections that might have seemed hidden or inaccessible before. Acting in alignment creates a synergy between intention and action, as each step we take reinforces our purpose, drawing us closer to the people, places, and situations that support our goals. Aligned action is also essential in maintaining focus and resilience, especially during challenging times. When we actively engage in actions that mirror our intentions, we keep our vision alive and present, preventing discouragement or doubt from taking root. This consistency of action strengthens our mental resolve, anchoring us in the certainty that our efforts will bear fruit. Even in moments of difficulty or delay, the knowledge that we are taking deliberate steps creates a sense of progress and purpose. Each action, no matter how small, serves as a reminder of our commitment to the journey, keeping our goals at the forefront of our awareness and empowering us to persevere. Acting in alignment is about embodying the energy of our goals in both thought and deed, creating a seamless connection between what we envision and what we do. When our actions match our intentions, we transform our vision into a living, breathing part of our everyday experience. This alignment of thought, feeling, and action accelerates the manifestation process, transforming internal desires into external realities. Through each aligned action, we honor our vision, solidify our intentions, and actively participate in the unfolding of our dreams, bringing them into tangible form one step at a time. The journey of bringing our desires to life is much like tending a garden. It requires thoughtful planting, consistent nurturing, and unwavering faith in the process. By recognizing our thoughts as seeds, nurturing them with positive emotions, and protecting them from the weeds of doubt, we set the foundation for a fruitful harvest. Through awareness of our inner patterns and careful selection of our environment, we create a mental space conducive to growth. By embracing self-love, trusting in divine timing, and practicing gratitude, we cultivate the resilience and openness needed to receive our dreams. And ultimately, by aligning our actions with our intentions, we take deliberate steps that transform our inner visions into tangible realities. As we commit to this process, we become the deliberate creators of our lives, consciously sowing, tending, and harvesting a reality that reflects our highest aspirations. Remember, everything you desire is within your reach. By embodying these principles, you are already living in harmony with the life you wish to create. Embrace each step, trust in your power, and watch as the seeds you plant today grow into the life of abundance, joy, and fulfillment you've envisioned. Awareness is the silent key that unlocks the door to a life of profound meaning. Yet few of us ever pause to hold it in our hands. Take a moment to consider this. How often do we walk through our lives asleep, entangled in our routines, moving from one moment to the next without truly seeing, hearing, or feeling? Imagine if every moment, every encounter, every breath could be savored, illuminating the richness of life right before our eyes. Now imagine if you had the ability to wake up, to expand your vision beyond the narrow lens of habit and assumptions. What would you see? Who might you become? Today we explore the power of awareness, a concept so simple yet so transformative. It has the potential to reshape every aspect of your being. Awareness isn't just noticing the world around you, it's about becoming deeply attuned to your inner landscape. It's about seeing yourself and your experiences without the veil of judgment or expectation. How often do we truly see ourselves not as we wish to be or as we fear we are, but as we are in our most authentic essence? Like sunlight filtering through a dark room, awareness brings clarity, illuminating the hidden corners of our mind and allowing us to confront our fears, biases, and limitations. When we dare to look within, awareness becomes the first step to personal transformation. Imagine awareness as the compass guiding us through the wilderness of life. Without it, we drift, pushed and pulled by circumstance, reacting rather than creating. But when we cultivate awareness, we awaken our inner compass, empowering us to navigate life with intention, clarity, and purpose. We begin to see how our perceptions shape our reality, how our beliefs influence our experiences, and how our thoughts create our future. Awareness is the bridge between who we are and who we could become. Now consider this: every thought you think, every belief you hold, every reaction you have is like a stone cast into a pond, sending ripples across the surface of your life. When we are unaware, we become prisoners of our own minds, locked in patterns that limit our growth and stifle our potential. But with awareness, we can step back and observe these ripples, recognizing how they affect not only ourselves but everyone around us. We gain the power to choose differently, to break free from cycles of reactivity, and to step into a place of conscious creation. Today, I invite you to explore with me the boundless potential of awareness. Let us journey together through 10 profound insights into the transformative nature of awareness, each one a key to unlocking a richer, fuller, more intentional life. Embrace this message not as a passing thought, but as a call to awaken to the beauty of each moment and to the power that lies within you. For awareness, once cultivated, becomes the very foundation of an extraordinary life. Awareness is often the first spark that ignites the flame of transformation. Imagine a seed buried in the darkness of soil. It is unaware of the potential life and growth it carries within. Yet with the slightest crack, the seed begins to awaken, sensing the light above and stretching toward it. In the same way, personal transformation is rooted in the awakening of awareness. Until we begin to see ourselves clearly, we are like that seed, dormant and constrained by the familiar surroundings of our past. To truly transform, we must first recognize our patterns, beliefs, and habits. Awareness acts as a mirror, reflecting back not just our strengths, but our blind spots as well. It reveals the unexamined aspects of ourselves, illuminating the parts that may be holding us back. This clarity is essential for growth, for without seeing where we are, we cannot know where we need to go. Awareness opens our eyes to our own limitations, not to discourage us, but to show us what must be shed to reach new heights. Awareness does not demand perfection. Instead, it invites us to acknowledge our true starting point. This act of self-honesty is both humbling and liberating. When we embrace awareness, we come face to face with the parts of ourselves that we might rather ignore: old fears, unresolved emotions, and ingrained beliefs. Yet only by acknowledging these can we begin to transform them. Awareness gives us the courage to confront our inner world, allowing us to accept what we find and decide what must change. With awareness as our guide, we gain the insight necessary to break free from past cycles. Much of what we think and feel is shaped by our past experiences, and without awareness, we become prisoners of these patterns, reacting in ways that no longer serve us. However, by observing our thoughts and emotions, we gain the freedom to choose new responses. Awareness is the first step to rewriting our own story, creating space for growth, and allowing us to reshape who we are from the inside out. Transformation through awareness is not a one-time event, but a continuous process. Each new layer of understanding opens the door to deeper levels of self-awareness, challenging us to keep evolving. Like a plant that reaches toward the light, our growth is guided by the clarity awareness provides. As we expand, we begin to transcend our former selves, moving beyond the person we once were and becoming someone who embodies our highest potential. Thus, awareness is the cornerstone of transformation. It is the quiet force that propels us out of our comfort zones and into new territories of self-discovery. With awareness, we gain the wisdom to discern what to hold on to and what to release. We learn to navigate life with intention, and each step becomes a conscious choice rather than a reaction. Awareness illuminates the path, empowering us to evolve in ways that are aligned with our true essence, guiding us ever closer to the light of our fullest potential. Self-awareness is like adjusting the lens through which we see the world. It brings clarity to how our inner beliefs and attitudes affect our daily lives. When we become aware of our thoughts and feelings, we begin to understand that much of what we perceive is filtered through our inner landscape. This awareness highlights how subjective our experience truly is, reminding us that our reality is shaped not only by what happens around us, but also by how we interpret those events. By observing ourselves without judgment, we allow this inner lens to reveal biases, fears, and assumptions that may otherwise color our perception. Our perceptions, guided by self-awareness, affect everything we encounter. Consider how a simple belief such as "I am capable" or "I am not enough" can transform how we approach challenges, relationships, and opportunities. If we carry limiting beliefs, we may unconsciously interpret setbacks as signs of failure, closing ourselves off from potential growth. On the other hand, empowering beliefs encourage us to view challenges as opportunities for improvement. Self-awareness enables us to notice these subtle influences, giving us the power to shift our mindset and, in turn, our entire experience of reality. Self-awareness also opens us to recognizing and addressing inner conflicts. Often we may not realize that our perception is influenced by unresolved emotions or unacknowledged fears. For instance, past disappointments may cause us to approach new situations with hesitation or doubt, clouding our ability to see things as they truly are. By tuning into these emotions, we can begin to understand how past experiences shape our present. Self-awareness allows us to clear the haze of these emotional layers, empowering us to respond authentically rather than through a lens distorted by past pain. As we deepen our self-awareness, we discover the ability to step back from automatic reactions. Many times, our perceptions are shaped by habitual responses we've developed over time, ways of interpreting events that we may not even question. Through self-awareness, we gain the power to pause, to consider alternative perspectives, and to choose a response that aligns with who we truly are. This conscious approach transforms interactions, helping us see situations with greater openness and respond with intention, rather than reactivity. Self-awareness also broadens our capacity to empathize and connect with others. When we become attuned to our inner world, we develop a deeper understanding of the complexities within ourselves, which helps us appreciate the inner worlds of others. This awareness fosters a more compassionate perception, allowing us to see beyond surface behavior and understand the motivations and emotions underlying the actions of others. Our reality becomes richer and more connected as we see not only through our own eyes but with an understanding heart. Self-awareness is a powerful tool for shaping our reality because it gives us the choice to rewrite our own narrative. When we understand how our perceptions are shaped by inner beliefs and attitudes, we realize that we are not passive recipients of experience but active creators of our lives. Through self-awareness, we can challenge old narratives, release limiting beliefs, and embrace new perspectives that align with our highest aspirations. In doing so, we transform our perception and, in turn, create a reality that is a reflection of our true potential and purpose. Consciousness is the silent force shaping each moment we live, the invisible thread weaving meaning into the fabric of our experiences. It reaches beyond the surface of thought, penetrating deeper into the essence of how we interact with life itself. When we awaken to consciousness, we begin to see that every experience, from the ordinary to the extraordinary, is molded by our level of awareness. Rather than merely reacting to external events, we become active participants in our reality, infusing even the most routine moments with depth and significance. As we cultivate consciousness, we discover that our inner state has a profound influence on how we perceive the world. Imagine experiencing a sunrise, for instance. If we are hurried or distracted, we may see it as little more than a passing view. But with heightened awareness, that same sunrise can become a breathtaking moment of wonder, a reminder of nature's beauty and the cycles of renewal. This shift happens not because the sunrise itself has changed, but because our state of consciousness has transformed it from a mundane scene into a sacred encounter. Consciousness invites us to see life with fresh eyes, embracing the extraordinary within the ordinary. Consciousness also shapes how we interpret challenges and setbacks, transforming them from obstacles into opportunities for growth. When we are reactive and unaware, difficulties can feel overwhelming, casting shadows over our experiences. But with an awakened consciousness, we gain the ability to view these moments as essential parts of our journey. We come to understand that each challenge is not a barrier but a teacher, offering insights and opportunities for resilience. This shift in perspective reshapes our reality, empowering us to face difficulties with a sense of purpose and possibility. Through the lens of consciousness, we begin to realize the interconnectedness of all things, seeing ourselves not as isolated individuals but as part of a larger whole. This awareness cultivates a sense of unity, helping us recognize the subtle ways in which our actions and intentions impact others and the world around us. With this expanded sense of connection, our experiences become imbued with a deeper meaning as we understand that each choice we make ripples outward. Consciousness, then, is not only a path to personal transformation but a doorway to a greater collective awareness. Consciousness also has the power to slow down time, allowing us to savor each moment fully. In our fast-paced lives, it's easy to rush from one experience to the next, barely taking a breath. Yet when we bring awareness to the present, time seems to expand, and each moment unfolds in its fullness. We notice the subtle details, a breeze on our face, the laughter of a loved one, the quiet calm of solitude that might otherwise go unnoticed. Consciousness gifts us with the ability to fully immerse ourselves in life, turning fleeting moments into lasting memories. Consciousness is the lens through which we create a life that is not only lived but deeply felt. As we nurture this awareness, we shift from merely existing to experiencing the richness of being. Life becomes a tapestry of sacred moments, each woven with intention and presence. By shaping how we perceive and engage with the world, consciousness transforms our reality, revealing a life filled with purpose, beauty, and connection. Through the power of consciousness, we become artists of our own experience, crafting a reality that reflects the depth of our awareness and the expansiveness of our spirit. The power of our thoughts and beliefs is an extraordinary force that often operates quietly in the background, yet its impact on our lives is profound. Each thought we have, whether conscious or unconscious, carries an energy that subtly shapes our experiences and interactions. Imagine every thought as a ripple in a vast pond, sending waves of influence that extend far beyond our immediate perception. Over time, these ripples accumulate, guiding the flow of our lives in ways we may not immediately recognize. Awareness of this power is the first step in understanding how deeply our thoughts and beliefs affect the path we walk. When we begin to tune into our thoughts, we uncover the potential to shape our destiny actively. Thoughts are like seeds planted in the fertile soil of our minds. What we nurture will eventually grow and bear fruit in our lives. If we consistently plant seeds of doubt or negativity, those thoughts will shape a reality that mirrors them. Conversely, if we plant thoughts of possibility and confidence, we cultivate an inner environment that attracts positive outcomes. By becoming aware of our inner dialogue, we gain the ability to consciously choose which seeds to nurture, guiding our life toward a reality that reflects our highest aspirations. Our beliefs function as the framework through which we interpret the world. When we hold empowering beliefs, those that affirm our capabilities and potential, we open ourselves to new possibilities, even ones that once seemed beyond reach. These beliefs act like keys, unlocking doors that may have remained closed otherwise. Empowering beliefs lead us to approach challenges with resilience, to take risks that promote growth, and to recognize opportunities even in setbacks. Our beliefs, therefore, don't just color our thoughts, they actively influence the types of experiences we attract and the limits we place on ourselves. In contrast, limiting beliefs can confine us within invisible walls, restricting our growth and keeping us from reaching our full potential. These beliefs often stem from past experiences or from messages we've internalized over time, shaping our perception of what is possible. A person who believes, for example, that they aren't worthy of success may unknowingly sabotage their efforts or avoid opportunities that could lead to achievement. By identifying these limiting beliefs, we take the first steps toward dismantling them, freeing ourselves to pursue a life that aligns with our true potential. Thoughts and beliefs also serve as magnets, attracting experiences that resonate with their energy. When we hold positive and empowered thoughts, we create an energetic frequency that draws similar energy toward us. This phenomenon, often referred to as like attracts like, reveals how our inner state directly influences our external reality. When we approach life with optimism and trust, we tend to encounter supportive people, inspiring opportunities, and meaningful experiences. Conversely, when we dwell in doubt or fear, we often attract circumstances that reinforce those feelings, further entrenching us in a cycle of limitation. Recognizing this dynamic gives us the power to consciously choose thoughts that align with the reality we wish to create. By mastering our thoughts and beliefs, we become co-creators of our destiny. Each moment offers us a choice to think in ways that uplift and expand, or to allow limiting beliefs to shape our lives. When we choose thoughts that align with our values, dreams, and highest potential, we step into our role as architects of our own reality. This process requires consistent awareness, for our thoughts are ever shifting, influenced by our emotions, surroundings, and experiences. Yet with practice, we gain the power to direct our thoughts and beliefs toward outcomes that fulfill and inspire, transforming our inner world and manifesting a life that reflects the greatness within. Recognizing and changing limiting beliefs is a journey of self-discovery and liberation, one that requires a willingness to look deeply into the hidden corners of our minds. Limiting beliefs often live in the background, subtly influencing our choices, actions, and self-perception. Awareness acts as a mirror, allowing us to see these beliefs with clarity and honesty. It reflects back to us the narratives we have carried sometimes for years that have quietly shaped our reality. This self-awareness is the first step toward transformation, helping us recognize the beliefs that have held us back and opening the door to true freedom. When we observe our limiting beliefs, we often find that they are rooted in past experiences or inherited from the perspectives of others. Perhaps we internalize the idea that we aren't capable of achieving certain goals, or that we don't deserve happiness and success. These beliefs may have served a protective purpose at one time, helping us cope with disappointment or avoid perceived risks. But as we grow, they can become barriers, preventing us from pursuing our true potential. By bringing these beliefs to light, we can examine them objectively, questioning whether they still serve us or if they are simply remnants of past conditioning. Once we see our limiting beliefs clearly, we gain the power to challenge them. Awareness allows us to question the validity of these beliefs, asking ourselves if they are based on truth or merely assumptions we've accepted without question. For instance, if we hold a belief that we are not good enough, we can examine the evidence for and against this belief. Often we find that these limitations are based more on fear and past experiences than on reality. This process of questioning weakens the hold of limiting beliefs, loosening the grip they have on our minds and allowing us to open ourselves to new possibilities. With awareness as our guide, we can begin to replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones. This shift involves consciously choosing thoughts and beliefs that support our growth, courage, and well-being. If we have held the belief that success is out of reach, we might replace it with the belief that we are capable, resilient, and worthy of achieving our goals. This new belief becomes a foundation for growth, guiding us toward actions that align with our true potential. Through this intentional process, we dismantle the walls that once confined us, replacing them with a solid base of self-assurance and possibility. Changing limiting beliefs is not an instant process, but a gradual unfolding, one that requires patience and self-compassion. As we continue to observe and challenge our beliefs, we may notice old patterns resurfacing, especially during times of stress or uncertainty. This is natural, as the mind often reverts to familiar thoughts in challenging situations. However, with consistent awareness, we can gently redirect our focus back to our empowering beliefs, strengthening them over time. Each time we consciously choose a new belief, we reinforce our commitment to growth, allowing the empowering belief to take root and gradually replace the old limitations. The journey of recognizing and changing limiting beliefs leads us to a life of greater openness, courage, and self-trust. By shedding beliefs that no longer serve us, we create space for growth, embracing possibilities that were once out of reach. We begin to see life as an open field, filled with opportunities rather than obstacles. With each belief we transform, we become freer, more confident, and more aligned with our true potential. In the process, we step into a more expansive, authentic version of ourselves, ready to embrace life's journey with a heart full of courage and an unwavering sense of purpose. Breaking free from reactive habits and mindsets is a journey toward conscious living, one that requires us to examine the automatic patterns that often drive our actions. Habits, in many ways, are the invisible architects of our lives, shaping our choices, behaviors, and ultimately our character. Yet these habits often form without our conscious consent, arising as a result of repeated actions or conditioned responses. They become ingrained over time, woven into the fabric of our lives without us even noticing. It is only through awareness that we can step outside of these responses, viewing them objectively and discerning whether they serve our highest good. When we bring awareness to our habits, we begin to see how many of our reactions are driven by impulse rather than intention. We might react with frustration when something goes wrong, or we might withdraw when faced with a challenge, not because we choose to, but because these responses have become ingrained. This is the nature of reactivity. It happens almost instantly, before we have a chance to consciously decide. By observing these reactions without judgment, we start to recognize the power they hold over us, and gain insight into the ways they shape our interactions and experiences. This awareness is the first step in breaking free from reactive patterns. As we deepen our awareness, we open the door to intentional choice. Rather than reacting automatically, we find space between stimulus and response, a pause that allows us to choose our actions consciously. In this space, we can decide whether our habitual response aligns with our values and goals or if it hinders our growth. For instance, if we habitually react to criticism defensively, awareness gives us the opportunity to choose a more constructive response, perhaps listening openly and learning from the feedback instead. This shift from reactivity to intentional response empowers us to take control of our actions and our lives. Breaking free from reactive habits also involves questioning the beliefs that sustain them. Often our habits are reinforced by underlying mindsets, assumptions, and beliefs that dictate how we interpret situations. If we believe that life is a constant struggle, we may develop a reactive habit of defensiveness or pessimism. By examining these beliefs, we can begin to unravel the hold they have over us, recognizing that they are not truths but perspectives that can be changed. This questioning allows us to redefine our beliefs, shifting from limiting mindsets to those that support growth and resilience. The process of replacing reactive habits with intentional actions takes time and practice. It requires a commitment to self-observation and a willingness to redirect our responses when old patterns resurface. There may be times when we fall back into reactivity, especially in moments of stress or fatigue, but each slip is an opportunity to learn. With patience and persistence, we strengthen our ability to respond mindfully, gradually transforming our habits into conscious choices that reflect our deepest intentions and aspirations. Breaking free from reactive patterns allows us to cultivate a mind that is calm, present, and empowered. We begin to live with a sense of agency, no longer controlled by automatic responses, but guided by conscious awareness. In doing so, we create a life of purpose and integrity, one that reflects our authentic self rather than a collection of unconscious habits. Through awareness, we reshape our responses, developing a mind that chooses with intention rather than reacting with reflex. And we step into a life that is truly our own, rich with possibility and aligned with our deepest values. Self-awareness serves as a powerful foundation for cultivating both peace and resilience, qualities that allow us to navigate life with grace and steadiness. When we are truly aware, we gain the ability to observe life as it is, without the filters of fear or excessive desire that often cloud our perceptions. This clarity is liberating, for it frees us from the mental noise that amplifies worry or dissatisfaction. By seeing life more objectively, we find a profound sense of calm arising within us, an inner peace that doesn't depend on external circumstances, but comes from a deep understanding of ourselves and the world around us. With self-awareness, we are better equipped to face challenges with a clear and composed mind. Instead of reacting impulsively to difficulties, we can pause and assess each situation with a balanced perspective. This calm approach is the essence of resilience, for it enables us to respond thoughtfully rather than with anxiety or distress. Self-awareness reveals our emotional triggers, helping us to manage them rather than being controlled by them. Over time, this practice of observing and understanding our responses strengthens our ability to withstand life's inevitable ups and downs without losing our inner stability. Self-awareness also brings an acceptance of what is beyond our control, a crucial aspect of both peace and resilience. When we become aware of our tendency to resist or fear uncertainty, we can begin to let go of the need to control every outcome. This surrender does not mean passivity, rather, it allows us to focus on what we can influence while accepting the rest. By acknowledging our limitations and focusing our energy where it truly matters, we conserve our strength and avoid the unnecessary stress that often arises from trying to control the uncontrollable. In moments of crisis, self-awareness grounds us, providing an inner anchor amid the storm. Instead of being swept away by intense emotions or overwhelmed by circumstances, we can observe our feelings without judgment, understanding them without letting them dictate our actions. This mindful detachment is a powerful source of resilience, for it enables us to experience life fully while maintaining a steady core. By observing our emotions rather than becoming entangled in them, we cultivate an enduring peace that carries us through even the most challenging times. The peace that arises from self-awareness also fosters compassion both for ourselves and others. When we understand our own struggles, we become more empathetic toward those of others. This empathy further strengthens our resilience, for it creates a network of meaningful connections that support us through life's trials. Recognizing the shared humanity in all people, we find that we are not alone in our challenges, and this sense of unity offers comfort and strength. Self-awareness, therefore, not only grounds us in peace, but also connects us to others, expanding our resilience through shared understanding and support. Self-awareness allows us to build an inner sanctuary of peace, a refuge we can return to whenever life becomes turbulent. It teaches us that peace is not merely the absence of conflict, but a state of harmony with ourselves and the world. This inner peace, cultivated through awareness, becomes the foundation of resilience, enabling us to stand firm no matter the external chaos. By embracing self-awareness, we gain the strength to face life with both calm and courage, navigating challenges with a peaceful heart and an unbreakable spirit. Living authentically requires a deep commitment to self-awareness, as it is only through awareness that we begin to see ourselves clearly. This clarity strips away the layers of conditioning, expectations, and societal pressures that often lead us to wear masks. These masks may offer temporary comfort or acceptance, but they keep us from expressing who we truly are. With awareness, we gently peel away these layers, revealing the essence of our true selves. This process invites us to live with honesty, courage, and openness, fostering a life that aligns with our genuine nature. When we embrace authenticity, we start to build a life that reflects our deepest values. Awareness enables us to see what truly matters to us, allowing us to distinguish between values that are genuinely ours and those we have adopted from others. This insight helps us prioritize what brings meaning to our lives, guiding us to make decisions rooted in integrity rather than compromise. As we align our actions with our values, our lives become a reflection of who we are at our core, rather than a reflection of external influences or expectations. Living authentically also means embracing both our strengths and our imperfections. Awareness allows us to see ourselves without judgment, acknowledging our unique gifts and the areas where we struggle. This self-acceptance is essential for authenticity, for it frees us from the need to present a perfect facade to the world. Instead, we feel empowered to show up as we are with all our complexities. Embracing our wholeness, we connect more deeply with others, fostering genuine relationships that are built on trust and vulnerability rather than pretense. Awareness also fosters authenticity by helping us identify when we are acting out of alignment with our true selves. We become more sensitive to the discomfort that arises when we betray our own values or compromise our principles. This awareness acts as an internal compass, gently nudging us back toward choices that are aligned with who we are. By listening to this inner guidance, we cultivate a life that is purposeful and aligned, allowing us to move through the world with a sense of integrity and confidence. As we live more authentically, we find a sense of freedom that is unattainable when we are trying to meet others' expectations. Awareness teaches us that the only validation we truly need is our own. When we no longer feel the need to conform to others' standards, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and paths that resonate with our true desires. This freedom from external pressures enables us to explore our passions, pursue our dreams, and live in a way that is uniquely fulfilling. In this way, authenticity becomes a path to liberation, empowering us to create a life that is both fulfilling and true. Living authentically through awareness brings a profound sense of peace and purpose. By honoring our true nature, we step into a life that is aligned with our values, desires, and aspirations. We become more resilient, as authenticity provides a stable foundation from which to face life's challenges. Rather than expending energy on maintaining appearances, we can devote ourselves to pursuits that are meaningful and rewarding. In living authentically, we are empowered to express ourselves fully, contribute genuinely to the world, and experience a life that feels both purposeful and deeply aligned with who we are. Nurturing empathy and connection through awareness is an essential journey toward a more compassionate and united life. When we cultivate awareness, we open our hearts and minds, seeing beyond the narrow lens of our own needs and concerns. This expanded view allows us to step into the experiences of others, understanding their joys, struggles, and dreams. Through awareness, we begin to grasp that everyone carries their own burdens and triumphs, and this understanding fosters empathy, a quiet but powerful force that bridges the gaps between us, creating a deeper sense of unity and connection. Awareness enables us to be present with others in a way that is open and receptive, truly listening and engaging without judgment or assumption. Often, our minds are busy, filled with our own thoughts, concerns, or preconceived ideas about others. But when we bring awareness into our interactions, we set aside these distractions, making space to genuinely hear and see others as they are. This presence is a gift to those around us, as it conveys a profound respect and appreciation for their experiences. Through this act of conscious presence, we cultivate empathy, allowing ourselves to feel and understand the world from another's perspective. Empathy, nurtured by awareness, deepens our sense of shared humanity. As we become more attuned to the struggles, joys, and needs of others, we realize that, despite our differences, there is much that unites us. Awareness illuminates the universal experiences such as love, fear, hope, and loss that bind us as human beings. This understanding fosters a sense of solidarity, breaking down barriers of misunderstanding and prejudice. By recognizing the common threads that weave us together, we cultivate a more inclusive mindset, which strengthens our connection to others and enriches our lives with a sense of belonging. Awareness also helps us recognize the impact of our actions on those around us. When we are mindful, we see how our words, gestures, and choices can either uplift or hurt others. This insight encourages us to act with kindness and compassion, understanding that even small actions have the power to make a difference in someone's life. By choosing to act with empathy, we create an environment where others feel safe, valued, and understood. In this way, awareness not only fosters individual empathy, but also builds a ripple effect, spreading compassion and connection throughout our communities. Awareness allows us to navigate difficult interactions with grace and understanding. When we encounter conflict or tension, awareness enables us to pause and consider the other person's perspective, rather than reacting defensively. This shift from reaction to reflection helps us to see beyond the surface of disagreement, acknowledging the emotions and experiences that may be driving it. Through this understanding, we can approach challenging situations with empathy, seeking resolutions that honor the needs of everyone involved. By doing so, we nurture connections that are resilient and enduring, even in the face of differences. Nurturing empathy and connection through awareness brings a richness to our lives that is deeply fulfilling. As we become more attuned to the needs and experiences of others, we find that our relationships grow stronger, our interactions more meaningful, and our communities more united. Awareness allows us to see the beauty in our shared journey, celebrating both our individuality and our interconnectedness. By embracing empathy as a natural outcome of awareness, we create a world where kindness, understanding, and compassion become the foundation of our interactions, allowing us to build bridges of connection that transcend boundaries and bring us closer together in harmony. Present moment awareness invites us into a profound realization. The present is the only time we truly have. Life unfolds here and now, yet we often find ourselves caught in thoughts of what was or what might be, missing the richness of the current moment. When we cultivate awareness of the present, we learn to let go of the regrets of the past and the worries about the future, allowing ourselves to fully engage with life as it is. This immersion in the now reveals an untouched beauty and depth, showing us that fulfillment is not something we need to chase, it's something we can experience right here in the present. By embracing present moment awareness, we discover a profound sense of peace that transcends the temporary highs and lows of everyday life. This peace arises from our ability to witness each moment without judgment, simply observing it for what it is. Without the burden of analyzing or resisting our experiences, we find ourselves more relaxed, accepting the ebb and flow of life with a gentle ease. This acceptance creates a space within us where joy naturally emerges, unhindered by the stress that often comes from dwelling on what we cannot change. In this way, the present becomes a refuge, a place of calm and contentment that is always accessible. Living in the present moment also enhances our appreciation for the small, often overlooked details of life. When we slow down and engage with our surroundings, we notice the colors of a sunset, the taste of a warm meal, or the sound of a loved one's laughter with renewed wonder. This heightened awareness brings a sense of vibrancy to our lives, transforming mundane moments into experiences that nourish our soul. We realize that true fulfillment isn't always found in grand achievements or distant goals, but in the simple joys that the present moment offers. Awareness of the present moment also strengthens our relationships as it enables us to truly be with others. Rather than being distracted by thoughts or preoccupations, we can offer our full attention, listening deeply and responding genuinely. This level of presence fosters connections that are rich and meaningful, as people feel seen, valued, and understood. In turn, we feel more connected, experiencing the warmth and satisfaction that come from genuine interactions. Present moment awareness brings an authenticity to our relationships, grounding us in the joy of shared experiences and mutual understanding. The practice of present moment awareness also nurtures resilience, as it allows us to face life's challenges without becoming overwhelmed by them. When we are anchored in the now, we respond to difficulties with clarity and calm, addressing what needs to be done without the added weight of fear or regret. This focus enables us to handle obstacles one step at a time, finding solutions and growth even in hardship. By staying grounded in the present, we cultivate a stable inner foundation, one that supports us through the trials of life and reinforces our sense of fulfillment, even in challenging times. Present moment awareness leads us to a state of lasting fulfillment that is not dependent on external circumstances. When we realize that life's richness is always within reach, we stop searching for happiness in the future and begin to appreciate what we have right now. This perspective shifts our focus from seeking to being, allowing us to savor the depth of each moment. Through awareness of the present, we discover a quiet joy and contentment that arises from simply living fully in the here and now, grounding us in a fulfillment that is timeless and enduring. In embracing awareness, we open the door to a life of deeper meaning, connection, and fulfillment. Through self-awareness, we cultivate an inner peace and resilience that grounds us amid life's challenges, empowering us to respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. Living authentically allows us to align our actions with our true values, creating a life that reflects our genuine selves and brings a sense of purpose and integrity to each day. As we nurture empathy and connection, we bridge divides, fostering relationships that are built on understanding and compassion. Present moment awareness roots us in the beauty of life as it unfolds, allowing us to let go of regrets from the past and worries about the future. This immersion in the now brings a profound contentment, showing us that true fulfillment is found not in the endless chase for more, but in the richness of each moment. Let awareness be our guiding light, a practice we return to each day, inspiring us to live with intention, compassion, and authenticity. In doing so, we create a life that is not only lived but deeply and joyfully felt, enriching our journey and radiating that joy to those around us.